This is KGW News at noon.
Icy conditions around the area have dominated our newscast this week, and that story continues today with more freezing rain falling in some spots. We're going to pause to talk about conditions improving because radar shows things could actually get worse before they get better.
Yeah, a lot to get to this noon with the forecast changing quickly throughout the morning. Rod, what are we seeing out there right now, and what are we expecting for the rest of the day?
Yeah, let me briefly start by outlining in white. This is the winter weather advisory. The main threat here is freezing rain from the Portland Metro up into Clark County, up Highway 26 into parts of the Coast Range. We are looking at now an ice storm warning where it's been freezing rain all morning in the West Gorge right there. And then it's snow out in Hood River and the Dalles, Wasco County down into Jefferson County, where we have a mix of winter storm warnings and the weather advisories in place. But look at the ton of moisture that just continues to come in. It's been mostly light to moderate precipitation falling in the area, but it hasn't stopped. And this is radar, the salmon colors here, pointing to the fact that there may be freezing rain pockets feeding all the way into Portland. Now, we went on social media and our streaming platforms mid-morning today to let you know the temperatures had really fallen off out on the east side. I mean, it was above freezing early this morning in Sandy, same in Gresham, same in Happy Valley. Now Happy Valley 29, Gresham 30, Sandy 31. So this has been pockets of freezing rain going all the way back to at least the 8 o'clock hour at this point this morning. Now downtown Portland 34, and then it's holding above freezing once you jump over the West Hills out into Beaverton and Hillsborough, and it continues to be warmer with no freezing rain threat. You folks in Marion County are not in any type of an advisory, as you will just see rain continuing to fall. But look at the temperature profiles for this afternoon. 35 right now. Portland potentially slips to 32 degrees at some point mid-afternoon into the 4 o'clock hour, and then stays around freezing into 8 o'clock. So that would heighten the possibility of some freezing rain. Now keep in mind, you get really bad freezing rain when the temperature dips into the 20s. So maybe we avoid that. But Chris McGinnis, I think all eyes are still going to be tracking falling temperatures as the sun starts to go down during the afternoon hours.
Absolutely. And with that, a look at the roads. Let's take you out to Troutdale. The east wind bopping our camera around out on Interstate 84 near Marine Drive. So far, we're getting around okay. You can see the cars and trucks there just splashing on wet roads. But to Rod's point, that is kind of the gateway to the cold, right? The freezer door. I-5 through North Portland, just wet. We'll take you up to Northeast Portland. This is Columbia Boulevard at 42nd. Not a lot of melting going on out there, but enough that for right now, major roads are generally wet. All right, some highway alerts. Interstate 84, of course, reopened overnight, but chains or traction tires are required from Troutdale to Hood River. Same story on the Washington side from Washougal to Dallasport. And new this morning, late this morning, US 26 is closed in the Madras area because of a crash. This is what it looks like on that side of Mount Hood. A snowy, wintry mess as we get into Wasco County, as Rod pointed to. Some of these cameras not looking all that great on that side of town. And real quick in the upper Hood River Valley, to Rod's point, it is snowing right now in Parkdale on that side of the mountain. All right, an update on in terms of mass transit. The Max Blue Line now has expanded operations to the Rose Quarter, so that's a bit of an improvement. Otherwise, though, that's the only Max line that's running. Shuttles are serving the rest of the Max stops, and there are delays on bus routes. Also, C-Tran, guys, just hearing that the Vine on 4th Plain and the Vine on Mill Plain have just now resumed regular service. So a little bit of good news there, guys.
All right, thanks for that update, Chris. We want to get to our top news headline this hour. This week's weather has also been the cause of at least 10 deaths in the area. The most recent happened in Northeast Portland, where an active power line fell on a car, killing 3 people.
2 of them were brother and sister, and we are now hearing from their dad. A warning, the details may be disturbing for some people. Here's David Mulco with a story.
I seen from my window from this podium right here like a big flash, and at first I thought it was a gunshot.
Instead, it was a tree branch falling on a power line.
And my wife and me was getting in the car right there to go to the store. And next thing we heard a loud boom. And my wife's like, oh my God, that car is on fire.
And it kept getting worse because in the next few moments, Ronald Briggs would lose his 21-year-old daughter, Tajalia, her boyfriend, Nash, the father of his grandson, and his 15-year-old son, Tamron.
I had 6 kids. I lost 2 of them in one day.
And next-door neighbor Majaya Washington says once the live power line fell on the red SUV just before noon Wednesday near Northeast 122nd and Siskiyou, and everyone scrambled out on the ice, Nash was first to go.
Slip right there. He slipped and he fell. His shoe touched the wire and caught a little bit of fire on his foot, and then he was smoking after that.
My son tried to go down, my 15-year-old son tried to go down there, and I told him don't go down there, just get away from him, and he slid. And he touched the water, and he died too.
Though somehow Ronald's 9-month-old grandson was still alive.
True, his dad saved his life. He laid on top of his dad.
I know like some people might say it's probably like a dumb decision, but I had I don't know, I just felt like I had to go get that baby. And I had him. He was alert. I was happy about that, but you know, like it's hard to be happy when the case of events.
It just hurt that I can't see my kids die and can't do nothing about it. Being a good father, but being a good father cannot solve this right now today.
In addition to that tragedy in Northeast Portland, there have been 7 other deaths in the area connected to this week's weather. 2 from fallen trees, 5 more from suspected hypothermia. Temperatures in many parts of the Portland area are still right around or not very far above the freezing mark this afternoon. Despite that, Multnomah County lifted its state of emergency yesterday, closing the doors to the county's emergency warming shelters.
If they could have let us stay, for the rest of the day until the snow melted, that would have been ideal.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Somebody dying because, they're freezing to death. That's kind of scary.
We also know of 2 people who died in a church fire in Northeast Portland on Sunday. Investigators are still working to determine the cause of that fire, but say it may also be weather related.
Meantime, thousands of people still dealing with power outages today. That is the bad news. The good news, PGE estimates it has restored electricity to 96% of customers who lost power. If you look at your screen right now, you can see the breakdown. There are just over 5,000 PGE customers still in the dark and almost 12,000 Pacific Power customers in Oregon without electricity. Clark Public Utilities in Southwest Washington looking at just under 200 outages.